Day, and Facebook is facing, as we've been reporting in some depth, a real storm over its connections to a group called Cambridge Analytica. The company is believed to have played a decisive role in US President Donald Trump's 2016 election victory. Facebook's share price has plummeted in recent days, and Cambridge Analytica's chief executive officer, Alexander Nix, has been suspended. More on the story, which obviously has global implications. You can see our correspondent, Ollie Barrett, in the screen. Ollie, before we talk about what happened and the fallout, just remind us again, Cambridge Analytica, what is it?
It's a UK headquartered firm, Jeremy, which takes data and research and analysis and applies that to marketing for businesses, but also for political parties, for politicians. And it has been filmed, actually, talking about its alleged influence on some electoral events around the world. With regard to its links to Facebook, what it is accused of doing is harvesting without authorization the data of millions of Facebook users and then taking that data and using it to influence the American elections of 2016. So this is obviously a trend we knew was happening. We knew back in the Obama campaigning era that the Obama campaign was using much more data harvested online to try and target the right voters with the right messages. But Cambridge Analytica, based here in London, is accused of doing that without authorization and breaking various rules. It and Facebook, we should reiterate, both deny wrongdoing.
Targeting the right voters, Ollie, with the right messages. How does that work?
That means that you take the data from the users that you have gathered, properly or improperly, and you are able to therefore tailor the message that you send them really very specifically indeed. And so with regards to the American election, we know that Cambridge Analytica have admitted or claimed to have been behind that idea of Hillary Clinton as a crook, which was one of the messages put out by people who may not have come directly from the Donald Trump campaign, but may have been aligned to it in some way. And so they were able to pick certain people in certain areas, certain swing states, we believe, and target them with very specific messages based on their internet usage patterns, the things they're buying, the things they're looking at, the things they're liking, the things they're commenting on. All of that data incredibly useful to companies around the world, but particularly increasingly useful to political campaigns.
How difficult is this going to be to scrutinize and to prove? So we know that there is an organization in Britain, it's called the Information Commissioner's Office. It's an independent authority. It looks at information rights of people. I do understand that they are looking to obtain a warrant to search the premises of Cambridge Analytica. I don't know, Ollie Barrett, whether that has happened. But apart from that, is there any regulatory muscle here that can be brought to bear?
I think that's the crucial question, and the sense that we are getting from analysts and observers and experts in this field is that the regulation has just been too slow. It has not kept up with developments in this sphere. As you suggest, the Information Commissioner here in the UK has wanted to search the databases and servers of Cambridge Analytica for some days and has not yet been able to properly because it had to obtain a warrant from the courts to do so. Now, in other spheres of public life, with an investigation of such a high profile like this, you may have seen investigations able to get underway much more quickly, but the rules just aren't established now yet for things like this to take place quickly enough. That's one of the criticisms being levelled at the government here in the UK, but I think it applies, experts believe, to governments all around the world. They have been slow to keep up with regulation and legislation when it comes to the online sphere and the data that people are giving away at times to companies that they use on social media networks and so on and so forth. So there are rules in place, but the sense is that they simply haven't caught up with the reality of modern life.
Ollie, don't we also, as consumers, need to take a little bit of responsibility here, for goodness sake? Don't we need to be more careful about what we share on social media and put on Facebook?
I think that's right, and certainly there's been a call in some quarters here in the UK for everyone to suddenly delete their Facebook accounts. Now, some people may be deleting their Facebook accounts, but others are certainly not, and they do so in that increasing knowledge that some of the data they give away online is going to be used to target them with advertising. I think when it comes to South Africa, of course, eyebrows will continue to be raised, particularly in that country, because of the fact that this is not the first UK PR, research, consultancy or firm to get into difficulty in recent years. Bell Pottinger, of course, had problems in this area, essentially collapsed as a result of that campaign, which was viewed as racially divisive inside the country. Interestingly, one of the executives of Cambridge Analytica, Mark Turnbull, who was in these videos, in this secret filming by Channel 4 News, which has led to the suspension of the CEO, Alexander Nix, he was at Bell Pottinger before the controversial period related to South Africa, but he was at Bell Pottinger, and he also had a period himself, 1995 to 1999, working for Bell Pottinger offshoot in South Africa too. So as I say, eyebrows I'm sure will be raised in South Africa. Many South Africans perhaps not surprised to see another UK PR firm caught up in a scandal like this.
While Facebook has denied all of this, undoubtedly, Ollie, it's been put under enormous pressure, and they would be expected, surely, at some point to provide a cogent answer and to perhaps have some solution to all of this, surely.
I think that's right, and it's the boss, Mark Zuckerberg, that everyone is now looking to. He has been very, very quiet in recent days. This story has been bubbling around for a while, but particularly over the last 4 or 5 days or so, with reporting from The Guardian, The New York Times, from Channel 4 News here in the UK as well, a real sense that Mark Zuckerberg has to step up to the plate himself now. This is his company. He founded it. He's always insisted that it is out there to do good in the world, to bring people together, to help make life easier, more fun, more interesting, and to build connections between people. Well, with these accusations laid at his door, he needs to explain exactly what Facebook knew, exactly when it knew it, exactly what it did to get on top of any wrongdoing that it believed it might have uncovered, and why it didn't do so more quickly. So I think we've had bits and pieces of responses from Facebook, but now everyone is looking to the man himself to get out there in public and explain what happened and what happens next.
Live in London for Newsday, Ollie Barrett, thank you.